Rico paced the larger confines of his cell on the third floor of the Shelby County Jail, the fluorescent lights humming a monotonous tune. Even with the expanded space and the privilege of working in the kitchen, a gnawing emptiness persisted, a constant craving for something beyond the regulated meals. Commissary, with its limited offerings and rigid schedule, was a poor substitute for the freedom to eat at will. He missed the simple pleasure of choosing what he wanted, when he wanted it, especially something sweet. As a newbie to the annex, he hadn't yet mastered the intricate dance of jailhouse bartering for extra snacks. The kitchen work, while offering a semblance of purpose, only amplified his hunger. Surrounded by food he couldn't freely consume, his cravings for sweets grew into a relentless obsession, particularly on his days off, when access to any extra sustenance was completely cut off. One particular off day, the dinner bell echoed through the cell block, summoning the inmates for their evening meal. Rico, resigned to the usual bland fare, shuffled along with the others. Then a voice boomed, "Extra cake!" A ripple of excitement went through the line as inmates jostled for position. Rico's heart fluttered. Cake. A rare, almost mythical treat. He quickened his pace, but by the time he joined the queue, he was far back, almost at the tail end. A sigh escaped him. There was no way any cake would be left by the time he reached the front. Without a second thought, a silent plea escaped his lips, a whisper into the stale air of the jail. "Please, God, let me get an extra cake." The words were barely formed, a desperate, impulsive utterance born of pure longing. Then, something remarkable happened. The officer, a stern-faced woman who had been stoically distributing slices, paused. Her gaze swept over the long line, her eyes scanning the faces. To Rico's utter astonishment, her eyes landed on him far in the back. "You!" she called out, her voice cutting through the murmurs. "Come on up here!" A wave of disbelief washed over Rico. He hesitated, looking around to see if she was addressing someone else. But her finger was pointed directly at him. Bewildered, he shuffled past the stunned faces of the inmates ahead of him, a mixture of envy and confusion in their eyes. He reached the front, his hands trembling slightly as she handed him a slice of cake. It was a small, simple piece of cake, but to Rico it felt like a feast. For the first time that he could consciously recall, God had answered him with such immediate, undeniable gratification. He walked back to his cell, the sweet taste on his tongue, his mind reeling. He replayed the moment, the officer's eyes, how they seemed to hold a flicker of an impulse to give a chance to those she hadn't yet favored with an extra treat. But deep down, Rico knew it was more than that. It was God, he was certain, who had prompted her, whether she was aware of it or not. Every time the memory of that day resurfaced, the long line, the silent prayer, the unexpected call, and the sweet, sweet cake, Rico felt an unwavering certainty. It was a potent reminder that God was always there, listening, even to the most fleeting, seemingly insignificant whispers of the heart, even within the cold, unforgiving walls of a jail.